Hello, you guys. How are you guys? Hope you're having an awesome Wednesday night. Hey, Jules, Muffin Top, allegedly with Brittany, Mark, and Dave G. Lynn, I've already said hi to you guys, but I like to do it again. TCA, happy to see you. I know Small Town, Pointer Lover. I wish I was sitting on that beach too. I am on the water, but it's kind of dreary and gross today. Hey, Raven. See if I missed any more. Squirrel Rock, always a good discussion here. Oh my gosh, there are so many loose strings with this case. So I'll just kind of tell you guys my idea for tonight. I've been seeing, it's kind of a topic that's been brought back up due to the recent documentaries and stuff. Well, I was talking on the phone today to Pink Dahlia, and we were talking about a video that was done maybe yesterday that was kind of talking about the ping and how it didn't mean anything and this and that. And we were kind of arguing back to that. And I thought we should have a discussion, on my channel like this. There's so much to talk about. Then after that, Kelly had a live, and I went in there, and she mentioned Chris's letters to Sherilyn. So in those letters, at one point he says, if you think that there's more to it than what the FBI know, then you're right. So, which is interesting, he said that. So then I thought, well, I'm going to pull up some of those letters, and we can go through them, and we can have the conversation about the ping, about the searches before. My tongue's blue. I wasn't eating blue candy or anything. Definitely not. But yeah, so that's kind of what we're going to do. Just hang out, laid back, but still interesting conversation. I just think it's, oh, I hate that tattoo. It's funny that it's a subject that's kind of came back up. So yeah, first, I guess the way we'll start is I want to get your opinions. What do you guys think about the pink? Hey, small town. No blue candy here to say My teeth are a little blue too. The other day, I noticed in my live somebody said, "Was your slushy blue?" And I didn't even pay attention. And then afterwards, Woofy was like, "Were you eating blue candy?" And I was like, "Oh my god, that's why they asked if my slushy was blue." Hand hurting now, so typos will occur. I think I'm back. I just watched the police interview. Yes. Okay, so my first question to you guys before we get started, I want to know, what do you think about the ping that occurred on her phone the morning of the murders? It was the only time that she went this way. The only times that she pinged at that house were when she went to visit and has admitted that, and then this morning. So, oh, Muffin Top, you haven't seen that police? Oh my gosh. ATS News, Amber, she has the police interview on her channel. You should watch it. It's an interview that we heard a long time ago, but we never saw the video footage. But I want to know, what do you guys think about the ping? Do you think pings don't lie? Okay, but do you think that she was there that morning with him, or do you think that she was just driving by being kind of stalkerish? Because well, I'll get into that more in a second, but there's a few things that make she was stalking them. Hey, Megan. Hey, Punksy. So yeah, I want to know, do you guys think that she was just over there stopping by, watching to see what was going on, or do you think that she was there with him that morning? Because another interesting thing is, she didn't clock into work that day. FBI never released any cell data from NK cell on the 13th, only the ping. And then there was a point in time. Oh, I hope you're feeling better, Becky. So then there was a point in time where it was said the ping was a typo. And the DA actually, Kelly showed an awesome video today with the DA's statement about that. The police interview indicates, I shall watch it again. Thank you. Yeah, definitely watch it. Amber enhanced it a little bit so you can hear it a little better and see it a little better. I'm going to see if I can find really quickly D.A. Rourke statement about cell phone being Let's see if this has the statement. This is an old article from Crime Online. You guys want to see it? I'll go ahead and show you. We're not going to do a ton of screen sharing today, but we will for this. She went to his house 2 times, saw the pics of family, and she tried to repair his marriage. She went from mistress to marriage therapist. Yes. Amber, Muffin Top Amber is a friend of mine who has a channel. You would love her. She covers summer wells too. Her and Kelly both. And it's not in this video, but if you go back a few and choose one of my old lives, and I always list when I fill out the description, I always list their channels because they run a Twitter with me. We have a Twitter, the 3 of us, for to fight against police corruption and those kind of things. We haven't been using it as much lately, but yeah. So this is an old article from Crime Online. Let's check it out. This is not a witch hunt. Chris Watts, prosecutor, cannot explain data from girlfriend's phone showing Shanann Watts. Ooh, the internet searches. That was another thing I wanted to talk about today. That to me showed stalker behavior. Let's read the article and see what it says. The Weld County DA has provided further information about entries in the discovery documents related to the Shanann Watts murder investigation that raised potential questions about information Chris Watts' girlfriend, Nicole Kessinger, volunteered to detectives. As Crime Online previously reported, Kessinger approached police 2 days after Shanann and her daughters disappeared in Frederick, Colorado, in August to report that she had been carrying on an affair with Chris Watts that began in June 2018. As the discovery documents and audio of a police interview with Kessinger, so that's the video that we have now. They first just released audio. And audio of a police interview with Kessinger show the 30-year-old woman who reportedly met Watts at Anadarko Petroleum, where they both worked at the time, was aware Watts was married but believed he and his wife were headed for certain divorce. She told investigators she was unaware Shanann Watts was pregnant. BS. Now we know that's not true, considering she searched her. So, Crime Online made repeated inquiries with the Weld County DA's office and the Frederick Police Department for clarification about multiple entries in the phone data review included in the discovery documents, which show that Kessinger searched for Shanann Watts and Christopher Watts in 2017. So September 1st, 2017, Kessinger searched the internet for the name Shanann Watts. Oh, just reading that, it brings back so many emotions, memories, and it makes me sick all over again. Last week, a record supervisor at the Frederick Police Department said that an entry in one of the phone data review reports showing that Kessinger did an internet search for Shanann Watts was a typo and referred Crime Online to the Weld County DA's office for further clarification. So she searched Shanann Watts on January 1st of 2018. She searched Chris Watts on August 1st of 2017. Okay. Following a series of email exchanges, listen to this, you guys. So it was said to be a typo, which we do know when this interview was released recently. It was put in the comments of the stream that held it was actually Shanann's brother. It was put in the comments that the ping was a typo. But that is not true. It was actually, we see here where that came from. It was a Frederick Police Department told Crime Online this, but they were mistaken. So Following a series of email exchanges and phone calls with the Weld County DA's office regarding the reports, Crime Online spoke by phone to Weld County DA Michael Rourke on Monday. Rourke said that the reports reflect what was shown in the forensic analysis of Nicole Kessinger's phone. The dates to which you are referring in 2017, where it appears she Googled or otherwise searched Shanann, was data that came off of her phone, Rourke said. So, it is not a typographical error in the report. The detectives are reporting what was contained in the data from her phone. I don't know the answer of why or how those dates ended up in her phone. Ask if the DA's office questioned or planned to question Kessinger about data suggesting she was aware of Chris and Shanann for up to a year before the murders. And she was looking, it also showed that she was on Shanann's Facebook, so she knew she was pregnant. That we're just going to get out right now. We did not get to the point in our investigation, my kids are running through here, of attempting to independently verify that or not because Chris Watts pled guilty, Rourke said. When you ask me if I have verified that information, the answer to your question is no. Nicole Kessinger told us that she met and started the relationship with the defendant in 2018. So where that anomaly in the data comes from, I can't answer it for you. I don't know the answer to it. Rourke said that the prosecutors are confident in the results of the murder investigation, which is closed. I have absolutely no reason to investigate Nicole Kessinger at this time. This is not a witch hunt. My job is to investigate and prosecute who was responsible for the deaths of Shanann, Bella, Celeste, and Nico. We have done that. I have no information nor any belief that any other criminal defendant is out there who is responsible for their death in any way, shape, or form. Wow. See, another statement he made. Let's see if, before I get back to you guys, I can't see your comments, but I wanted to see if we could see the other. There is another time that Rourke has made a statement on that, and he basically said that he they didn't investigate any further. Once they got the data back, he had already pled guilty. So they kind of just left it at that. So let me see. Bombshell information from girlfriend of Chris Watts. What is this? Helped investigators. Yeah, whatever. This was written in 2019, so that's why I was curious. Okay, let me come back to you guys for a minute. Kelly today in her video played an awesome video with his other statement. Hello, Melissa Jade. Hello, single mama 4. Nicole knew Chris was married and his wife was pregnant. Yep. Hey, Annette. They gave us all the footage and info we didn't need in this case and is hiding the real stuff that we would like. Exactly. Explaining pings, Google searches, Vivint records, and prison interview video. Don't feel bad about asking about it since both Allie and I said it here yesterday. Chris didn't do this by himself. We need the physical data dumps to see what's really going on. Those entries you're showing were put in manually by someone, not from her phone data dump, so it could very well be a typo. No explanation of the ping Monday morning or the 2017 cyber stalking. Yeah, exactly. And my whole thing is, if you're going to go to that point, for one, why are you searching them that long before? That is just red flags, red flags, red flags. I would love to know. It makes it feel like you targeted these people. It really does. And that's why conspiracies happen and all these people, because look at the evidence. But if you're willing to go to that level, and she was searching. We know that she knew Shanann was pregnant. It showed that she had looked at her Facebook. I don't know, you guys. I don't know. But I'm going to read your comments, and then I want to pull up some of the letters. I don't know if you were here, Amber, but earlier, so Pink Dahlia and I were on the phone talking about this and about, I think Zav Girl did a video about the ping and how it could be nothing and this and that, and which it could be. She very well could have been just driving by to see what was going on. I don't personally think that's the case because she didn't clock into work that morning. There's other things that make me feel that that's not what was happening. But so I wanted to talk about it with you guys, and then I got off the phone with her. Kelly was live, and she was talking about the yeah, they do, Muffin Top. They really do. She was talking about the Muffin Top. Do you know about this story? The letters from Chris and how he said in his letters, if you believe there's more to this than what the FBI know, then you're right. So now I want to pull up some of those letters. Hey, Kelly. Hey, Delaney. Okay. So I got my little Amazon tablet because I have it on Kindle. So the one where he makes the comment about the FBI, I believe that's like the first letter. But I've got it pulled up on the one where he explains what happened that night. Does anyone know if it's been verified that Shanann's family saw unpublicized surveillance that was never released to the public? Evidence point. There's no way they did. Do you know why? I know they said that they did, Squirrels Rock. I know there was a claim, but let me tell you why that's not true. Nate's surveillance footage, the only video that we got of that is from the body cam of the officer that morning. Police did not follow up and go get the actual file, the video file, until it was too late and it was gone. They did the... I guess I'm having a hard time why Nicole researched CW and SW. Hold on one sec. Okay. I hear Bentley up there, so... Pink Dahlia, what was it that you said today that I was like, you got to say that because that's such an excellent point? They didn't get, yeah, it was, yeah, because Lana went over this. That's how I know. And yeah, they never went and got the actual video footage. Let me think. It was a really good point. I know what you're talking about, those Squirrels Rock, and you're so welcome. I remember that comment. That they even tried going back to Nate's. Yeah, it was like October. After let's see, August. Yeah, it was like October. And at that point, it was deleted. I mean, why would they wait that long? Hello, duh, you got to know. I mean, even I would never even push it past 30 days. You would think these places are going to delete some of the, oh, it's frustrating. Hello, Incognito. Okay, so let me read through some of this letter. This tablet is all cracked. You can't even see it because of the light. Sorry. See? But, okay. I'm not sure. So I'll start here. But, wait, I actually don't think that's the one where it starts. Oh, thank you, Farmer. Thank you so much. I so appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, go ahead, because I got to figure out. I lost my place. I had the letter picked out that I wanted to read, but it kind of like kicked me out of that. So, 1 second. Because he's like, I don't know if I want to put this in the book or not. That's how he starts with what happened that night. There's so many, you guys. Hold on just a second. Let me go. The media is horrible with what they put out there sometime. Is my diet really that exciting? That's what he said in that one. I like that dream you had. 1 second, you guys. I'm so sorry. Do I feel like I should be incarcerated for the act I committed? I most definitely think so. Do I imagine myself ever doing anything like this or being a danger to society? I most definitely think not. If I were to ever be released, I know I would go straight to a ministry and start going to jails and prisons and help inmates. If God led me to be ordained, I would go back that as well. I remember Sherilyn saying that he asked her, would you feel comfortable? Okay, here we are. Would you feel comfortable putting this or with me watching your granddaughter or something like that? They were talking and she was with her granddaughter because he was saying, I would never do this again. Oh, yes. Yes, Pink Dahlia. Exactly. I don't remember how you. Okay, if he just admitted to what he did to his family, she basically said, if he's saying that he's going to be taking something to his grave, it's got to be bad because look what he's admitted to doing to his family. Can't spell stink without NK. That's pretty funny. Police put the search warrant in Nate's name. The contract was under Nate's girlfriend's name. By the time the second warrant was served, all the footage was gone. Yep. Yeah, that letter. Okay, so too many coincidences to be a coincidence, in my opinion. The only day they didn't call or text, also, she didn't clock in for work. And, think about the Battery song that she sent. I did a video once going through the music in, some of these cases, including Gabby Petito. Jeez, my Louise. So here we go, Jules. He did, and this is the letter, and I'm going to tell you guys, trigger warning. This is pretty. I felt KK on that dream text so hard. NK just seems so chill in the interview. Yeah, this is really trigger warning. So I'm not sure if I want this in the book or if God does, but here are the things I left out. 1. August 12th. When I finished putting the girls to bed, I walked away and said, that's the last time I'm going to be tucking my babies in. Ugh. I knew what was going to happen the day before, and I did nothing to stop it. I was numb to the entire world. I had literally taken my kids to a birthday party, played with water balloons, had an amazing time, sung songs all the way home, gave them both a shower, ate dinner, read bedtime stories, and sang bedtime songs, and still nothing registered. When Shanann had to be somewhere, I always enjoyed taking the girls places or playing outside because it was our opportunity to bond. And still, even the night before, I couldn't stop myself from what I knew would occur the next morning. August 12th, morning of. I went to the girls' room first before Shanann and I had our argument. I went to Bella's room, then Cece's room, and used a pillow from their bed. That's why the cause of death was smothering. After I left Cece's room, then I climbed back in bed with Shanann, and our argument ensued. After Shanann had passed, Bella and Cece woke back up. I'm not sure how they woke back up, but they did. It makes the gut that much worse. I don't know what that word is. It makes the something that much worse knowing I went to their rooms first and knowing I still took their lives at a location. 3. The reason the medical examiner found Oxycontin in Shanann's system is because I gave it to her. I thought it would be easier to be with Nicole if Shanann wasn't pregnant. If the world knew all of that, I'm pretty sure a new petition would be started to have me put to death, or I would be killed in prison if I ever got transferred from this institution. I don't believe it either, but I want to question you guys. Is it possible? Absolutely not. Is it possible that someone else tried to take the girls' lives and maybe they thought they had, but he speaks of it. He speaks like it was a plan he was not an intricate part of, in my opinion. Interesting. Because I've always wondered that. You know, could she have done it first and maybe not done it for long enough and they were just unconscious? I'm not sure if this was a spiritual visit, but I had a dream. Cece was dancing next to the chair in my cell. When she was dancing, one of my folders on the chair started moving, and I thought she was in trouble. So I said, "Watch out, get away, watch out." Then I woke up. I'm hoping she comes back. I hope everyone comes to visit me. I'm trying to see if I can tear my head better before I go to sleep to help. Clear my head better. The first words are cut off, like the first part of the first word. It's so weird the way he speaks of them. Like, you would think that he would think they don't want nothing to do with me. Like, why would they want anything to do with you? I don't know. It's weird the way he speaks about them. I don't know. I would love to hear your opinion through these letters. We'll read a few of them. Don't believe this theory. Hello, Humanimal. In his interviews when the police went to the prison for the 5-hour interview. There was no proof the girls even came home from the birthday party, only their shoes on the back deck. Frank said he only may have FaceTimed them. It was all Chris Watts. Absolutely possible. Well, I'm glad that someone's here that thinks the opposite then, so we can have the argument kind of, or the, you know what I mean, the debate, because I'm curious if you think it was all him. And before you got here, we kind of, I don't know when you got here, but we kind of went through the ping that happened that morning, then the DA, you know, his statement about it not being a typo. We did talk about the searches before the crime. We also, you know, I mentioned she didn't clock in that day. I didn't mention yet, but she did break her SIM card. I mean, why would you do that? If I was with a man and I thought that he was getting a divorce, but come to find out it was this kind of circumstance, I would do anything and everything to help. I would give all information. I would be helping search. I just don't understand, like helping in the search, not actually searching, but giving them the information or whatever I could do, anything and everything, I would be there. I cannot imagine breaking your SIM card, and you can see now that we have that the video from the interview when, look at my hands, they're dyed, when she starts talking about, he says that he wants to get all the messages from the phone. Her face gets blood red, and she's not having it. She's not happy with that. But she tries to say, oh, it's so, you know, it's embarrassing. Oh, whatever. I don't believe that. He is an anomaly, and that is why the agents went to interview him after he'd been in prison for months. Yes, I think he would eventually murder maybe even NK. Anything is possible. I just feel anyway. He's already done it to S, so his adrenaline is way high. Why wait for that long drive before he did it to the girls? I know, but he says he did. Well, here he says he did it to the girls once, and then again at the site. Um, Actually, and in that prison interview, he says he did it at the site too, right? Yeah, because he's like, "Oh, I thought you guys saw the shadows." It's been a while since I've watched it, but that's really weird to me too. Why wait till you're there? Good point. I knew this would be an awesome conversation. I agree. So I don't know why they didn't look at her closer. People are like, she was not a suspect. She was a witness. She should have been a suspect, don't you think? I mean, she's been having an affair with this man who's murdered his family, and she's well, if they didn't get the data back yet, but she should have been a suspect based on that alone. Then she didn't clock into work that morning. Okay, she definitely should have been a suspect. Okay, sorry. Frank said he saw Bella and heard Cece on the call. My question was, what's he taking to his grave if he just admitted to all this? Yeah, she was like, because he said that there were things he would take to his grave that no one would ever know. Well, you've admitted to all of this. I mean, surely, and you said this, surely it wouldn't be like homosexual sex or whatever, you know what I mean? Same sex or however you would say that he would be taken to his grave. Thank you, Amber. She claims she didn't want people seeing naughty stuff, but I don't believe that. I think she was hiding more. I do too. I really do. I can't help it. Someone says at least 2 to 3 others. I don't think some sex gay or straight would be harder to admit than killing your kids. How convenient she broke her SIM card. I don't believe he done this by himself. If he killed them, the ultimate thing why they would even be like him, but it actually pisses me off that he didn't protect them. So I'm really curious what like the percentage is. I don't believe she was embarrassed either. Not how she spoke in front of her own father about things. Yeah, come on now. There's no way. And then, oh my gosh, her dad in that interview. I get annoyed because he tries like running the show, and then it's also like he kind of, oh, you don't remember where we were? Like he's given her parts to the story when they're talking about what they did that day before. I know it's all pretty dodgy seeming. I think she was expecting this amazing day where he left his wife once and for all, and bam. Yeah, I've been very sus about her knowing, but I doubt. Really interesting. What was that video you played earlier, Kelly? What did the DA say exactly after he said it wasn't a typo? I tried to find the statement, but I couldn't find that one. He said it wasn't a typo and they stopped the investigation because he pled guilty. But the way he worded that was really important. I thought, and we even have Tammy Lee when the Oxygen special came out, or maybe it was Lifetime. They had like a little documentary after with the actual people involved. And she said, we quit, Dave. She said that we quit looking into things too early. It was like we were going full speed and then just bam, we stopped when he pled guilty. And I wish that we would have finished. But it's really interesting that now, David Carter comes out and saying, he told me this in jail, and your opinions of him don't matter. Don't even put him here. Your opinions on if he's honest. You can put your opinions of anything. Just be nice to people and respectful. But I don't want to hear any like trash talk. But even if you don't think that he was being truthful about Chris telling him that, when he And he actually sent me the clips, but he got a new Facebook and they're gone now. But when he calls back to the DA's office, no, he calls TBI, and he's trying to. He says they ask him, "Will you do a lie detector test?" Because he says, in jail, Chris told me that other people were involved. Will you do a lie detector test? Yes, I will. So he calls back and he's like, "When can I do this lie detector test?" And they're like, "You're not. We don't find you credible." Why not give him the lie detector test? Hey, Denise, I believe that she was putting so much pressure on him to make a choice. And then you have his wife threatening to take the children. I also believe he was doing drugs that she provided. I've wondered about the drugs a little bit. Doubt that NK did anything to the girl. She wanted to marry that douchebag. It's suspicious, I admit. She absolutely should have been a suspect. Yeah, it is suspicious, but I'm glad that there's someone here, at least one. I'm curious how many people, and I'll ask that in a second. I know Wolfie doesn't think she was involved. Um, so that's like two. Chris is being told what to do and how to act all of his life, and that's exactly what happened. He was given an order and carried it out, but not by himself. Yes, they spent the previous month in her house, in her car. Why weren't those places searched? What could be worse? Oh, wow, Rumple. Hey, Yenny. I think her guilt comes into her pressuring him, talking about marriage, talking about his new apartment. Oh, she felt culpable because of pressure on him. Maybe now I've wondered that too. What if she was pressuring, we know she was pressuring him, but what if she didn't help and he did it just because she was pressuring him, and the kind of things that she was saying about having his first son and that kind of stuff. Hey, Wicked West. Kobach, I think, liked her photos. What was the 12-minute on call on Sunday between Chris and Sandy about? Huh. Now, I have some questions about the morning of, right? So, and I really do. And I don't have all the accurate information to really, really get into it. Let me scroll through. I don't want to miss any comments, but I am going to go ahead and scroll through. Dylan Tallman also said CW did not act alone, and they were brothers in Christ. Yep, another person he was in jail with. I have some questions about the next day, the day that it all happened. Before we get into it, another more of the letter, because they're very interesting. He didn't like me saying, "You don't own the case, can't stop people talking. You're feeding the drama." Oh, yeah, but you're right. You're right. You can't put out, you put out videos that everybody's dying to see, and then you don't want people to talk about it. I don't know. Chris is wacko. Pressure to him. Okay, so look. The next morning, I know I'm missing a couple comments, and I'm really sorry. If there is a really important one, you guys, if you don't mind, you can put it again or let me know to go back and check. So the next day, Sandy calls the preschool before she even calls Shanann. That's odd. Isn't that odd to you guys? She calls the preschool like twice or something. Oh my God, Kelly. He's been on his show for a lie detector for something else. Hey, Lana. Hey, the next morning, I know Sandy called the daycare a couple times before she even called Shanann. Oh, okay. I hate that there's such a delay like that. Massive delay between chat and StreamYard. You asked what he was taking to his grave. I said, what was a 12-minute call between Chris and Sandy about on Sunday? She never called Shanann. She never called Shanann, but called the preschool. You know what I mean? There's some weird things that happened that morning. Hey, Woofy, I'm glad you're home. There's some weird things that happened that morning that also make me question. But I personally think it's really possible that NA could have been in the house that morning looking for Shanann. So she called Sandy and she's like, she's not here. Her phone's here. So why would Sandy call? Shanann if she knew the phone was there? But I don't know. Okay, let's read some more notes and you guys can put. Well, wait, before I go on to the letters. If you believe that Chris did it all by himself, who's attacking Sandy? I'm not attacking Sandy. If you believe, I'm just curious. I'm not attacking her. It's a fact. I'm just wondering why she called the daycare before calling Shanann. I'm really curious of how that happened. You drink the Kool-Aid, Alex. Okay. If you believe that Chris did it by himself, can you put a 1 in the chat? Someone turned off Shanann's phone after 8:43 a.m. I don't know why there's such a delay, too. I'm sorry, you guys, but it'll take a second. 1. So Wicked West, do you think he did it by himself? See, I've been on the Kool-Aid Wicked West. When I started my channel, it's kind of what I started it on. And I've always kind of thought that Nicole Kessinger was involved. Cindy Watts is a more likely conspirator. That woman is dark. Hateful. And then Wolfie says 1. 2 people so far. We have Humanimal. That's 3. Just me, huh? Yeah, I'm not attacking anybody. I have no reason to attack anybody. I don't. Yeah, I just have questions about the truth. Although 2, he wasn't alone. Shanann met NK. Yeah, I didn't say 2, but I figured because there's so many options with that. Some people think there was many people involved. Some people think it was just him. You know what I mean? You already know my thoughts. He did it with help. I nearly after nearly 4 years am still so undecided. Only part I don't know. Yeah, and you guys, we can disagree and stuff. Let's just do it with nicely so we can. I usually Bentley. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, I love to have different people with all perspectives in the chat. Just want to make it where the only way we can have it that way is if we're, kind to each other and that kind of thing. You guys know what I mean. He has help for sure. Agree, Amber, not alone. He did it with help. So yeah, I figured Sandy knew that if the girls were not in school, it was a problem. But why didn't she call Shanann first and then say, hey, what are you doing? How are you? Why immediately call the school? You know what I mean? It was after 12:55 that the phone was turned off. That's my clue for you all. What time did Chris get there? He was not smart enough to do it by himself. I convinced people to kill a pregnant lady and 2 small girls if there was helpers. I know it would take a lot, right? Because I've heard that argument before, and it's such a good point. I have a lot of really good friends and family that I love with all my heart, and I'm not going to kill anyone for them, or you know what I mean. So first, say, look, Gwen is not a good person, okay, but she got caught up in something awful. Then thought maybe she did prompt him. Now I'm not sure, but even if she did, he followed through. I believe NK was there. A lot of people think she may have been there and left that morning. And then I'm curious about Lana NK. I'm curious about those tracks in the backyard. Do we ever know if that was true? Yeah, exactly, Lynn. I think a suspect would ask if Discovery was closed to comfort themselves in making them feel like they're off the hook. This case always brought out the worst in all of us. And the best in us, too, though, right? It's kind of how a lot of us came together, which is really cool. But rather than say, "You're sick, I'm not killing my children," although money would have been a big factor, he knew she would take him to the cleaners. Good point. I honestly think he 100% had help. There's no way he acted alone. I'll go to my grave thinking that. Ooh, NK maybe have been able to control something to do with the oil batteries. That's a good point. They were not on good terms, though. Sandra would never contact Shanann. Huh? Did Frank try to call Shanann once, or Frankie even? No. Nope. Not before they called the school. 910 garage door Vivint alert not in Discovery mentioned by Daddy in interview. Wow. That's what I think about that narrative you're trying to run. Which one? Thank you. I'm researching a few cases. I want to make sure that I'm accurate. I believe NK was there for all morning. Oh, shit. Sorry, you guys. I went way far past all the comments I wanted to read. After 4 years, I don't believe Chris killed anyone. Please don't block. I wouldn't block you for any opinion at all on this. I wouldn't. I want to hear it all. I love it. I think, yeah. I second that. I hate it myself sometimes. When I heard and saw NK say Pawnette along with everything else she did, I decided she was guilty. Yeah, and that's a good point because Pawnette, well, if you think she's coming back, why would you do that? And she could look, at pawn shops in the area. The 111-minute phone call. Someone mentioned that if you take the road to the back of the house, it's a dead end. So yeah, there was those tracks back there, but I'm really curious. There was definitely a photo of tire tracks in the back. Yeah, I remember that. Hmm. I have a lot of. I'm really interested in that backyard stuff. That's true. I found you with this case. Over the back fence, the car was parked in new build area. There's an image of a car there. I believe Chris may have killed Shanann, not the children. Okay. No one will ever. No, I don't believe NA had anything to do with it. But I do think it's possible that the reason Sandy didn't call Shanann is because NA went to check on her. So she wasn't answering. She didn't go to the doctor. Sees the shoes there, the car's in the thing. Maybe she found a way in and saw the phone and thought, wow, and called Sandy. Oh my God, Shanann's not here. Her phone's here. So if that happened, maybe that's why she didn't call. That's just a guess. I don't know. I don't believe she was involved though at all. The fact she wasn't on social media, they might have felt they didn't need to call because she was clearly not active. Now, that's maybe it too, because she was always on there. So if she wasn't active on Facebook or Facebook Messenger, maybe. And NA said she wasn't answering. That's possible. NA could have just said, I've called her 10 times. She's not answering. And then she just called the school immediately instead of calling her. For me, I feel like I would call my child though. You know what I mean? If it, I don't know. It's a nice ruck, huh, Dave? And it bothers me that they never found the closed CW ditch. the Kool-Aid guy going to bust through the wall now? With all due respect, I don't see Shanann killing her kids over Chris or anyone for that matter. I agree. Do y'all remember the curtains? One day they were open, one day they were closed. Ooh, you have that picture of the tire tracks. I agree. I don't think it's too shady. Okay. I don't think it's that shady, but I still question it. I wonder why. But I think that could make sense. Maybe she just said she's not answering and I've called 10 times. I forgot the last name of Leave Jim Alone. I can't remember his last name either. Let me think. I'm sticking with you. N.A. was being indirectly directed by Sandy to be her eyes and ears. Hey, Sandy. I think the majority of people who think Chris did not do it all do not think it was Shanann. I'm very interested in the paranormal activity that was captured at the house. But that's my thing too. But that's really crazy because do you remember they saw, I don't know if it was on TikTok or what, who was it that did the thermal imaging? And you could see like two figures up in the window. And then Mexi goes there and says that he just felt completely sick. That it was evil. There was evil. I call my daughter 1,000 times. Yes, that's true, Muffin Top. What did Dave G say, Dave? N.A. found Shanann's cell after 3 minutes in the house in the sofa cushions. Was she looking for loose change? N.A.'s son was caught on body cam putting Shanann's purse in the kitchen. I've seen that. I don't know. Why? What do you guys think of why, Dave G and Dave? I watched Mexi's live and he puked in the middle of it. Sandy, it's really possible. He does. It's hard. Even the people who knew him, they were so shocked that he could have done something like that. Remember when Mexi filmed the cop climbing the back fence? It showed how easy it was for someone to get into the Watts' backyard. Yeah, and the cops came up there, and they came up there on him a couple times, I believe. There was a lot of people going to that house for a time when the Netflix thing first came out. Well, if they found her phone that soon, that's probably why Sandy didn't call it. No, they found it at like 1 o'clock. But I'm talking about Sandy that morning. She called the daycare around like 9. We'd have to look at the discovery to get the exact but let me read just a little bit more into this. Remember when Chris got caught with like the Vaseline, the oil, the underwear, all the weird stuff? What are you up to, Chris? Let's see. Okay, here we go about Nikki. Let me take a drink real quick. Oh my God, the watch was in the same place as the phone. I didn't know that. At 6 a.m. the next day. Yep, you're right. Okay. Prayers and dinky bums. Okay, you ask if there's anything I haven't talked about in regards to Nikki. Honestly, I'm not sure what I've said and what I haven't, but this is what I know. She has a small group of friends that she didn't tell me a lot about until near the end. She was involved in an abusive relationship a few years before, and after that, she removed most of her social media. Not sure if it was the result of that relationship. Most, if not all, of her mail was delivered to her dad's house. Not sure if she was hiding from someone. She took medication, but never told me for what, though. She came over to my house twice, July 4th and July 14th. I didn't have to work July 4th, so I stayed at Nikki's house. that morning and missed tons of phone calls from Shanann. When I called Shanann back, she was obviously furious. I went home and decided to stay home the rest of the day, which made Nikki upset. I think that was the first time she realized in her head that she wasn't number one in my life. Nikki came over and we went over an eating/protein plan for me. She didn't look around the house much on this visit. On July 14th, we were heading back from the Shelby Museum and stopped by my house before we went to get something to eat. While in the house, she was playing with Dieter, and he led her upstairs, and she saw a lot of pictures of Bella, Celeste, and Shanann. I was downstairs at the time. She came back downstairs with this frozen, dazed, and confused look on her face, probably now realizing for the first time in her head the family life I lived and the family that would be broken to pieces. We laid on the couch, and she said, "You have all this, more than most people, and why are we doing this? Why are you and we are doing this? Why are we doing this? Are you willing to give up all this? Is your relationship that bad?" I said Shanann and I were drifting apart and that we didn't talk. I'm not sure if I believe that fully, but I can see the deficiencies in our relationship today. I also said Shanann and I were actively trying to have a baby before we met, Nikki and I. Nikki instantly freaked out about this because she didn't think the relationship could have been that bad if Shanann and I were trying to conceive. Nikki went out to her truck and sat there for about 30 minutes, texting me while I was inside my house. I somehow calmed her down. Nikki repeatedly reminded me that I was the only guy she ever met that tried to fix problems, smooth out issues, and talk about things. Ironically, I never did that with Shanann. Maybe I thought she wouldn't listen. After this, Nikki still invited me to her home, like nothing had happened, and said, "I got mad because I thought I could give you a son, and when you told me, bye, Dave, have a good night." Let's see. "And when you told me you and your wife were trying, that made me upset. After all this, we went to the drag races in Bandevere is that Bandevere? On July 21st and camping July 28th and 9th. When I left to go to North Carolina, she sent me a text saying, 'Use this time to fix the issues with your wife and enjoy time with your family.' The first night I was there, the night I gave Shanann the Oxycontin, I text Nikki saying I wouldn't be able to call, just text. Nikki responded, 'Why not? Are you with her?' I thought she wanted me to spend time with my family, but obviously she wanted me to make time for her no matter what. The next 8 days, I ignored Shanann every night as I could disappear and talk to Nikki for hours. Can't work on your relationship when all you're doing is, chatting with your girlfriend. When I returned to Colorado, I saw Nikki after work. I went to her house in my work truck, and she gave me a key to her place. I saw this as a pretty big step because what woman gives another man a key to her place without wanting to take a big step in their relationship? I had told her that Shanann and I were going to get a separation and think the relationship was going to end. Shanann had mentioned the word separation, but she was still actively trying to fix our marriage. I don't know if this I don't know if this day when I received the key to Nikki's place was the day I realized I couldn't have my family and her at the same time. Think there's more. Yeah. Bye, Jules. Thank you so much. So when I left Nikki's house, I had to hurry home because Shanann and I had an ultrasound appointment. This should have been a joyful time, but instead I was so overcome with evil and lust, I didn't even let the event register. There was my son, didn't know the gender, on the screen, and my beautiful wife on the chair, and I could barely hold her hand. Shanann needed a supportive husband, and my kids needed a loving father. But I was neither at this time. I found it interesting. He talks about her like he does. There was my beautiful wife on the chair, and you know what I mean? Shanann made it a point to bring up the cold hand holding, and I just told her my head wasn't in the right place and that I was going to sleep on the couch. Shanann responded, "Whatever is going on, or whoever she is, you'll never see those kids again," and slammed the door. Once I knew she was asleep, I proceeded to call Nikki while laying on the couch. The next night, I would sleep in the basement on that bed and call Nikki as well. I had made up my mind that my marriage was over without ever trying to talk to my wife first. Shanann knew the altercation with my parents had affected me, so she began sending pictures of the ultrasound to my mom and dad. Nikki began telling her friends about me, and I deleted my Facebook because of that. I didn't want her friends looking me up. Deleting my Facebook was another sign to Shanann that something was up, but she was still wanting to find a way to fix things. She then booked a couples weekend in the mountains. Bye, Johnny. Is Johnny okay? Shanann was beautiful, yeah. Yeah, the 111-minute call. This is a long letter, but it's about Nikki, so I'm going to keep going. The last time I saw Nikki was August 11th. My heart breaks for Shanann. Yeah, it sounds like he still loved her. Absolutely. I think she knew all along but didn't want to admit it to herself. The last time I saw Nikki was August 11th when we when we went out to eat. He writes so small it's really hard to see. I had gotten a babysitter for the night. Nikki talked about different apartments she had found for me that would be big enough for me and the kids. She then talked about how after I found my own place, we could more move at a slower pace and treat our relationship as a normal relationship. She said this because we saw each other every night possible in June and July. Oh, yeah, after you have your own place, we'll move at a slower pace. What? No, that makes no freaking sense. It's his mother that he's never telling on. Ooh, maybe. In the witchcraft and their coven. I think, so I agree somewhat because I do think that's some of it. I wonder if the ultimatums were given on August 11th. Okay. Um, I didn't talk to her again until August 12th, after the birthday party I took my kids to. What? Okay, buddy. Sorry, you guys. Okay. I didn't talk to her again until August 12th, after the birthday party I took my kids to. The rest, I think it's all in the discovery from then on. Oh, really, Chris? You're not going to explain the rest to us? Like, Um, I hope this sheds some light on that relationship. I'm not sure if that is all common knowledge or not, but that's it regarding Nikki from me. I pray that she has peace now and can find peace in the Lord. Everyone involved in this tragedy has had their life turned upside down, and I pray they will seek the Lord with all their heart to get back on the right path. Okay, enough of the Nikki relationship. Let's get to Salvation Night, October 2018. I've been trying to narrow down the day so that because they were writing a book about it was going to be a religious book. But I'm wondering that letter where he says the FBI, if you think the FBI know more, they do. That is one I really want to get to. Let me see. My dad's silly. I hear him up there being goofy. Let's see. I've never had a psychological exam. If I were to have seen a doctor during my care, then anything I said could have been subpoenaed by the court or the DA. The Asperger symptoms do make a lot of sense, and I can match up a bunch of instances in my life that correspond with it too. It would have been much easier to diagnose me with it when I was 11 years old instead of 33 years old. Next time I talk to the psychological department, I will ask about what it takes to get an evaluation. Nikki tantalizing the crazy about life with her man. She knows it was a catalyst if he were to move on and not be financially bound. I think NK secretly wanted to be Shanann. I do too. I do too. I think she was so jealous she couldn't stand it. Why else search her that long before and then go after, like I said, the search makes it look so targeted. It really does. She definitely gave him an ultimatum. Why did CW say to his father, I should have gone to the game? Let's see. Help Shanann's family. I don't know where it's at, y'all. Here we go. Let's see. Maybe the laws will change one day. Maybe my attorney team could see I was different and knew this was a one-time occurrence for me. They even told me that in Europe, the law is I would serve 20 years or so for homicide. And in California, after 5 years of imprisonment on a life sentence, you can be released if you've had good behavior. So there's hope for everyone. I know physically I'm behind the walls, but my spirit is free with Christ. If God keeps putting it on your heart that there is more to the story than what the FBI has, you're correct. I don't like saying stuff like that over the phone because I'm never certain when they screen my calls. I know I already told you about the vision I had before August 13th where I was laying in bed and all the lights were on in the loft and downstairs and I felt so alone. That's exactly what happened August 14th when I was laying in bed. So, if God keeps putting it on your heart that there is more to the story than what the FBI has, you're correct. I know. Oh, NK wanted to be SW, heard it all now. She wanted to be, no, I'm not, okay, she maybe not wanted to be just like her. She wanted her life. She wanted that life, that house and the car and the kids and the husband. Believe that. She played him like a fiddle. She made her key like it was the best thing ever, made him feel bad. She's an awful person. So is it a money thing why they don't want to reopen the case? Because I think that everybody would donate just to have this sorted out once and for all. See, that's my problem because we can never say exactly what happened. But I was talking today to Pink Dahlia about this. The most frustrating thing is there are so many things that we will never know and so many what ifs and possibilities that could have been ironed out that will never be because of shitty police work. Hey, Mike dropping mom. He never say my daughters. Yes, weird. Alex distances those kids. Let's see. I want to see if there's anything else in here that I want to read, and then I'm probably going to let you guys go. What are you guys going to do tonight? Is there anything good? I know that the new Scream is on Paramount. I think it's on Paramount or Peacock, one of the two. I was scrolling through today. The Nikki letter. Countdown was at 10 p.m. and I went in my cell and on my break in the dark With the picture of my family frozen in my head, I see Bella. I see Celeste. I see Shanann. I see their bright, shining faces, their radiant cheeks, their beautiful smiles. Now more memories start to flood my brain. Memories of the past when both girls would jump into my arms and I would fly them around. Memories of snowstorms when I would pull the girls around in a sled. Memories of the wedding when I saw Shanann walking down the aisle and seeing her stand right in front of me looking absolutely stunning. Memories of Cece touching me every time I picked her up from school, tackling me every time I picked her up from school. Memories of Bella, first time seeing fireworks. Memories of being a family. And see, here's another part where he talks about Shanann. The wedding, when I saw Shanann walking down the aisle and seeing her stand right in front of me, looking absolutely stunning. I know, he makes me sick too. Three of a kind. Look, you don't got to agree with me. You just got to be polite. But she had the appearance that she had that life. Why do you think Nicole Kessinger, he says in the letter, the day that she went over and saw their house and saw all their pictures and everything, she's like, you have all this. Why do you want to ruin it? Because let me get your opinion, though, three of a kind. Why did she Google Shanann and Chris so long before the murders? What's your opinion? Of course, we will never know for sure, but very curious of your opinion. These images come at me like tidal waves, flooding my mind with the love that I once had and piercing my soul, knowing that they were gone. I long to hold my family in my arms again, to read one more bedtime story, to give another goodnight kiss, to hold my son for the first time, to sing one more song in the car, to be a dad, to be a husband one more time. I rolled over in my bunk onto my knees and cried out to the Lord, please take this pain away, take this guilt. How did I let this happen? How did I let it get this far? The pain is too great for me to handle, to bear alone. I'm sorry for the pain I caused. Please take this guilt, this shame that I feel, and help me follow you. Heal my heart, please, my soul, and help me follow you. Please forgive me. You're my Lord and Savior, and I want to do your will. At that moment, I felt a hand touch the top of my head. It didn't startle me. It didn't scare me. What it did was stop crying. NK and CW probably would have been happy with Nikki. But what if someone else came along? Would he have killed Nikki? Ooh. Yep, for sure. Still, see, I still want to believe we will find out. Ugh, I just don't think we will. Thank you, Tony. I agree with you. 9 more hours of work to go. Oh my gosh, Pointer Lover. Jeez. Long day. So then he talks about his salvation night. He thought that he was writing all these letters to go into a book about religion. I gotta commute back home, but I have to wait. I gotta commute back home, but I'll have to wait for my baby daddy to get off work, so I'll probably be watching YouTube. 16-hour shifts? Oh my god. I don't think he can tell the truth like Jody and Casey. Alex, I do agree the investigation was not the wonderful operation we are filled to believe, and they closed it too early. I so wish they would open it again, but I don't think they will. I feel the way if you guys heard, I don't know if it was shared anywhere, but David Carter, when you hear him asking for the lie detector and they're like, no, basically you're not credible. We don't even want to give you a lie detector test. It makes me think they don't want to open it, and they probably never will. You'd think they have plenty of reason to reopen it now, right? After they realized what all was in the data and stuff. So Google Shanann Watts? Y'all really stuck on that? She didn't Google Shanann Watts in 2017. That was a typo in the discovery confirmed by law enforcement. It's supposed to be 2018. Oh, Lord have mercy, help me. It was not a typo. The DA actually confirmed that, and we looked at the statement this morning. He says it was not a typo. He cannot explain why she Googled her so long before, but it was not a typo. But if you want to stay in my channel, you have to be respectful. That's just the facts. Sitting there talking to people like, y'all are really stuck on that? Like looking down at people? No, we're not stuck on that. We are talking about a case that we don't talk about every day, but it's back in the news and it's back on, it's back on YouTube and being talked about because of the new documentaries. But we have to disagree with kindness on my channel. So if it, period. I'm not going to say that again. Alex, LOL. Well, I'm sorry. Elizabeth, hey girl. Not a typo, nor was NK's January 2018 search of Shanann Watts. Thank you. Yeah, where was that one? Let's see. We have to be kind to each other. Okay, let me I want to read you this one last part. This right here made me so annoyed when I first read the book because I thought all he wants is us to feel, it's like all he cares about is himself. He's like, oh my God, it's so bad. But just hear me out on that. So, okay, let me go into the Weld County jail experience. Wicked West. I love you guys. You guys are the absolute best. Okay. Let that West Virginia girl out. I'm nice, but if I feel passionate about something or I will speak my mind. I try to do it with respect and kindness because at the end of the day, I gotta live with myself. You know what I mean? So, but I'm going to speak my mind, and I will not allow anybody to come in here and talk down on me or talk down on you all. And that's what that comment was. Y'all, back in the day, I used to be real feisty. But when you come in here and you talk to my chat like, oh, y'all are really stuck on this, blah, blah, no. You don't talk down on my chat. You don't talk down on me. Hell no. You can go on somewhere with that shit. Okay, now let me go. Say it like it is, Toots. I saw a comment up here. I love you too, Elizabeth. Uh-oh. There was one comment up here. That's why I like listening to your lives while I knit, Alex. I just don't chat a lot. Violet, I do recognize you, so you chat some, but that is so awesome that you have something to keep your mind busy while you're doing that. I love to listen to YouTube while I'm doing stuff like that too. I agree, Pointer Lover. That giggle in the closet, yeah. I've seen it before. Alex, do I need to get my stick out? Like we're a bunch of effing idiots that haven't gone over this up, down, forward, and back. Exactly. No, we are not. Every time it gets said, go by facts and what's in discovery. But the ones that do, then they said we are spreading lies. Yep. It wasn't a typo. That was recently said again when that video was released, and it wasn't. And Kelly, is that video on your channel or Amber's channel that you played today? So I can link it because people can watch and see the other statement by the DA. We went through one today that he gave Crime Online. If anybody wants to see that, it's at the beginning. Okay. I arrive at the Weld County Jail the night of August 15th. I get booked, fingerprinted, and my picture taken, and then escorted by a deputy and two tactical officers to the unit I'm staying in. When the door to my cell shuts behind me, I'm standing there alone in the darkness, wondering if this was it. Is this my normal life for the rest of my life? I lay down in the bunk in my suicide turtle suit, as I'm in their suicide watch pod, and just stare off into the darkness. Nothing is adding up, and it feels like none of this can be real. To my astonishment, I look in the front corner of my cell, and I see two dark figures standing there. I thought, okay, this is my eyes playing tricks on me. So I close them and open my eyes again, and yet they're still there. As I focus more intently, I can see one is male and one is female. The male is in a black suit, and the female is in a black dress. The video is ATS News. She forced me to make it. Wait, it's on mine. You're welcome to play it or whatever you want to do with it. I want to link it. I'm just wondering what the title is so it can be easily found, and I'll link it. Why don't you ever discuss the most serious issue at play here in this case? The abuse and neglect of those kids by the medical abuse and the sodomizing of Bella. I gotta say a prayer to keep myself together real quick. I've seen no evidence of the last two parts. I also will not allow, I will allow discussion about the people involved, honest discussion about their good and bad traits, but I will not allow anybody to just bash the victim, spread misinformation. Sodomizing of Bella? What? I mean, no wonder you came in and said, oh, NK is jealous of Shanann. Shanann had nothing. She didn't even blah, blah, blah. She pretended like she had something, or whatever your comment was. You obviously have an issue with Shanann. And I'm really sorry that people like that, something is inside of you that makes you people jealous or so hateful of a woman who was brutally murdered, pregnant woman, and her babies. Now, if you can bring me factual proof of some of those things, I will absolutely discuss it, because we're going to discuss everything from top to bottom in every case we cover. We don't, hide things to make certain people look however. But I'm going to leave it there. The video was Amber's idea. I'll look for it. Love you, Jules. Wicked West. I'm really trying. That was far from a respectful question. I haven't went over the autopsy, but I would be interested in it. I'm proud of you for your reply to that. Glad you prayed on it. Ooh, I just don't get it. I've seen some really nasty stuff towards her. I've seen some really nasty stuff towards Gabby Petito. And, I see other women I see it on YouTube all the time. You see other women that are so jealous to see another woman succeed, to see another woman do well, to see a woman that's pretty, to see a woman get a lot of views, super chats, whatever. There are so many haters that get so jealous, and you can see it from a mile away, right? You really can. To get jealous to that extent, and I'm not saying that you are three of a kind, I'm just saying I've seen a lot of people who truly are jealous and threatened by someone who's no longer with us. But I really recommend going and kind of working on yourself a little bit, learning to love yourself, spend some time by yourself, not with anybody else, and learn to be your own best friend, kind of figure out who you are, because no, that's not how we should be behaving. We should be building each other up, telling each other how pretty they are, how smart they are, how, good their videos are, just whatever, building the other person up. I don't understand that. I only want to build, I try to support other women, really build other women up, and I don't understand how anybody could not. I feel like if I was like that on the inside, it is from the book, Jordan. If I was like that on the inside, that would really suck. I'm thankful that I'm not like that. Muffin Top, I'm reading. It's a book from Cheryl and Cadle. Really upsets me, to be honest. I'm really sorry, you guys. Dave, I remember you telling me that, and then you sent it to me, and I looked at it. Oh, thank you, Maria. Want me to start all caps? Love you guys. Dude, you're supposed to build each other up, for real. Oh, thank you, Rainy Cat Hikes. But I mean that. When I see one of my friends like doing really well, it makes me so happy. It makes, like, I can't understand. I just can't understand not being like that, and kind of looking at women and like with that attitude. I love you guys. I love you, Jordan. All caps here. No, I swear, if you can bring me that information, we can look at it. But the point is that we can do better as women. YouTube women, Allie really hypes you up. I do. But as a whole on YouTube, we can do better as far as that goes. When you start to be happy for other people when they do well, and you start to, you get to that place, hey, small town, you will have happiness inside of you. You get you're at peace. You know what I mean? When you're constantly comparing yourself or looking at other people with jealousy and envy, you will never have peace. You will never be content and truly happy. But let me continue. I'm sorry, I don't even know where I left off, because that's like upsetting. Okay. There was a female in a black dress with a Victorian style hat. Both of their wardrobes looked vintage. The faces were colored and almost familiar, until the familiar feeling turned into a sure thing. This was my grandfather and grandmother on my mom's side, their faces being unmistakable now. I almost wanted to move closer to them when their eyes opened in unison. Their eyes were as red as blood, like crimson. This eerie feeling came over me as I had four eyes staring back at me, as if piercing my soul in a bad way. The only problem was that it felt like I was in a trance and had to keep eye contact. I felt like I needed to go over the both of them, but all of a sudden something broke the trance. I stopped looking at the something. Hold on. Sorry, Bentley's just getting sleepy. I obviously couldn't sleep much after this event, thinking this type of visit would only get worse if I let my guard down. I lay on this unit for a week until I was moved to the restrictive housing unit, or the hole. The suicide watch pad was quiet, but I soon learned the hole was not the same. As soon as I entered the unit, the screams and shouts pierced my soul. Out of the 20 cells, I'm sure 90% of them were screaming at me. And the berating remarks ranged from "I'm going to rip your face off to kill yourself" to "I'm going to F your wife in the afterlife." All of these comments felt like daggers hitting my heart. This went on for weeks, and I basically drew the conclusion that this must be what hell feels like. The shouting, the pounding on the walls had to stop at some point, right? It eventually did, either by the others losing interest or the fact I wasn't responding. During this time is when I started to read the Bible. I didn't know if I should even pick the Bible up because I thought I was far too far gone. I was lost, broken, and I even listened to the other inmates informing me the different ways I could kill myself while in my cell. Their words were, if you don't do it yourself, they will do it for you in prison. With these thoughts flowing through my head, I didn't think God would forgive me for what I had done, but I picked up the Bible and began reading because there had to be a message in this. I finished the Bible in about 2 weeks. Some days were harder to concentrate than others due to the noise in the pod and the horrible letters I would get from time to time. Not all the letters were horrible. There were a few that had encouraging messages and even pointed out scriptures in the Bible for me to commit to memory. The first that was brought to my attention, then he does a couple scriptures. After about 5 weeks in the hole, we're almost done. After about 5 weeks in the hole, I was moved to some a number pod to give me a little extra movement. Enter the Salvation Night story here. My attorney team would come to see me 3 to 4 times a week, and I can't thank them enough. They were my only human contact. They treated me not like a client, but as a friend. They didn't treat me with hostility, but with compassion, and would be there in a moment's notice if I was struggling with something. On November 5th, my attorney team flew my mom, dad, and sister out to talk to me via video monitor because the next day I was going to plead guilty to all charges. I got to spend 30 minutes individually with each member of my family. Those were some hard, heartfelt moments, and I cherished the time I was able to spend with them. After the visit was over, so he saw his attorneys a lot. After the visit's over, I was swiftly moved to another pod. I'm guessing the visit was being watched by other officials in the jail, and they felt it was prudent to move me to a more secure location if I was taking a plea deal the next day. The next pod was vetted. I can't read his writing. Close watch, and it was just me and another deputy. This was a dry cell and padded and kind of felt like a shoebox as it was only 5 foot wide. I stayed in the cell from November 6th to November 26th, and the fact that it was just me and another deputy gave me more opportunity to talk to them. Some could care less about having a conversation with me, but others did. When I was reading my Bible, the deputies would ask what part I was reading, and then that would spark up a conversation about the word. I was amazed at how much I had retained from reading the Bible, and it felt good to talk with someone who is a believer just like me. One deputy went on to tell me about some miracles that had happened in his life, in particular when his son's late grandfather was leaving a single rose in sporadic places just to let his son know he was there with him. I'm not doing the story justice, but wow, it was spectacular. When I returned from my sentencing hearing on November 19th, I was very emotional, as you can imagine. The deputy that was working saw I was having a hard time holding it together and asked if he could pray with me. I was shocked at this, but completely honored at the same time. Picture it, a deputy in his uniform and an inmate in his oranges, two entities that are usually at odds with one another, praying through a cell door. Remarkable. After he was done, I took over and read Psalms 33. I said a little prayer for my wife and kids and everyone affected by this tragedy. I was in tears. He was in tears. It was a very moving moment. In the end, I can look back at each pod I was housed in and relate it to a stage in my faith. Realizing who I am and that I am nothing without God in my life. Sanctific- sanctif- Sanctification. God was filling my soul with His word to make me ready to spend His grace and mercy. Salvation. I gave myself, my life, and my soul completely to the Lord. Consummation. God, He's taken absolute control and keeping me on the straight path. The Well County jail experience was a roller coaster, full of ups and downs and twists and turns, but it is also the spot of my salvation. When Jesus said, I have come to preach deliverance to the captives, that rings true if you're physically captive. Sorry, you guys. There's so much, but I'm almost done. You're spiritually captive. I went through a lot of dark things in that jail, but Jesus showed me the light at the end of the tunnel, and that is the true light, which lights every man that comes into the world. My mom asked me if you could use the letters that I wrote to Bella, Cece, Nico, and Shanann back in December, and I think that would be a good idea. The HLN reporter wanted to use them as part of the documentary to show my character, but I believe God didn't want them used there. He wants the book to be the platform they are used on, so I will give you the green light to go ahead and use them. You wanted me to give you some detail into the life of me, Shanann, and the girls, so here we go. It seemed like the perfect life. Here we go, three of a kind. It seemed like the perfect life. I had a beautiful wife, two beautiful daughters, and a good job, a home. Everything felt like it fit. My life and Shanann's life revolved around Bella and Cece, and we would do anything to make sure they were happy and healthy. We worked as a team the best we could, even when it was evident the girls only wanted me or wanted her. I loved picking them up from school. When I walked into Cece's classroom, our eyes would meet. A large smile would shine from her face, and she would sprint over to me. God, that is pitiful, almost tackling me. Oh, the way he describes it, too, it just makes it. Bella would usually be on the playground, so I would usually have to go into the play set to. I can't read his writing. Press the cracks in the screen. Once in the car, Bella would find them car ride snacks. Disperse one to Cece, and then I would buckle them up. The short ride home consisted of a lot of listening to Moana, Frozen, or Trolls. I loved hearing them sing, and they loved telling me to stop singing. I guess my voice wasn't that good. Once home, they would something to Shanann and eat their dinner. Now, shower time. They usually got me so wet from the bathtub, but the shower was a welcome change. They love wetting their hair like big girls. Afterwards, Shanann would come up and help me lotion the girls up and put their pajamas on. Then it was off for a snack, a cartoon, brush their teeth, inhalers, meds, and time for bed. Usually Bella wanted Shanann and Cece wanted me. Cece picked almost every book in her room some nights and asked so many questions. I loved it. She was such a little charmer. Sometimes Bella would be waiting for me to sing her a little song. You Are My Sunshine was the song. He put it in quotations. And get one extra kiss from me. Once in bed, Shanann worked on her phone the rest of the night while we watched our shows on TV. There wasn't a whole lot of conversation going on, and that's my fault, too, for not speaking up. The weekends usually consisted of getting the girls outside. As they were very active, I would take them in the backyard and play. Geez Louise, there's so much more. He says they loved water. Um, as I'm writing this, I can see I didn't put much effort into my marriage other than being the best dad I could be and performing my husbandly duties, cleaning, etc. I did as much as I could to keep the kids from distracting Shanann from her work that I forgot to focus on her. We did everything as a family, pumpkin patches and Halloween, plus all of us wearing I even wore the costume to the girls' Halloween party at school. I'll stop there for now. There's a lot more, but it is hard to listen to. He makes it sound like he was the primary caregiver. I know, and I think he may have been. You're so welcome, Muffin Top. It's interesting to me too, but I wasn't going to keep going because I don't want to bore you guys. I didn't put much effort into my marriage. Yep. Hold on one second. Okay. Family courts for men need to be looked into, honestly. Men's suicide note is the highest ever. So yeah, I think he was one of the main. He was a caregiver. Um, he was a really good dad. Someone asked to do a specific lab. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Susan. Oh, Susan, thank you. I didn't even see that. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you told me to scroll up. Exactly. You get a divorce. She isn't the first wife to corrupt the husband. They don't end up, they all, yep. 100%. There were demons coming after his ass. Ooh, weird. I love how their family didn't put Watts on their graves. I was upset when my cousin's husband murdered her and they put his last name. Oh, I'm so sorry for your loss. I still haven't seen the live. I mean the book. Would you be able to do a live soon on the murders of Christopher Watts next? The book. I could do it. I've done a lot of them out back there, like in the beginning of my YouTube journey. Let me see how much longer this one letter is. We might finish it if you guys aren't bored, because I like it too. It's super interesting. So it's only 2 more pages. Still find it unbelievable that he could murder them and love them at the same time. I know. And you see pictures of him and videos. We see a lot of videos of him playing with them, on his hands and knees, letting them crawl all over them. And it's weird. Just so bizarre that he would do that. You look and sound exactly like my friend Abby from Mississippi. That's so cool. I think CW not only mentally decided to leave, he emotionally did. That was very clear when Shanann and the girls went on the trip. He barely contacted her. Reading from the Murders of Christopher Watts, the book, the letters in the back. Thank you, Squirrels Rock. Thank you so much. I so appreciate that. It's 2 more pages. Ready, set, go. See, I didn't have a dad made from clay. Oh, thank you, Pointer Lover. Alex's slushy and candy fun. Thank you so much. I love you guys. You know me so well. Okay. At night on the weekend, we would usually take them to the splash pad because they absolutely loved water. When we would go to the pool, it would be a chance to it would be a chore to get them to go home. The smiles on their faces were totally worth every second though. So yeah, he feels like the smiles on their faces were like it was such a pain in the butt to get them home, but the smiles on their face were so worth it. Totally worth every second. As I'm writing this, I can see I didn't put much effort into my marriage. Wait, I already read that. He wrote that twice. I did as much as I could to keep the kids from distracting her. No? I'm crazy. I already read this. Y'all. Okay, next one. Sorry. Oh, I remember this. So, listen to this. So, Shanann and I go out from time to time, usually for birthdays or anniversaries. My favorite memories of her are the early ones, like the beach photos we took during the trip where I proposed to her in 2011. Her smile was captivating, and we were having a blast. Another would be obviously the wedding. I'll never forget her walking down the aisle, looking flawless, and seeing her look into my eyes when she got up to me saying, breathe. So Shanann walked down the aisle, got to Chris and said, breathe. And he said, she totally took my breath away. I don't know how to slow the chat, which I'm on a computer, so now I can. Is it going fast? I think that lie about what. See, if you slow the chat, people can't comment, but like every so many seconds. I know exactly who you're talking about, Susan. It was an author. Her name was Kathleen, and she had a theory that the girls were being, I think you should read the whole book to us, both books. Yeah. And I'm serious. The fact that Kay was making him drinks every day. That's true. Yeah, she was. She was helping him, like, mix his like protein powders and things like that. And she had there was also a drink that he told Sherilyn about, but I don't know. Awesome muffin top. See, so he says that she took his breath away. That part stood out to me the first time I read it. It's like he speaks about her so highly with such love. It's so bizarre, right? When you get to the point where you want to murder someone, you would think that you hate them. And to speak about, like, I'll never forget her walking down the aisle, looking flawless, and seeing her look into my eyes when she got up to me and saying, breathe. She literally took my breath away. Mm. She was beautiful. Love is a rescinding warmth that envelops your entire being. We should all strive for that because fear should never conquer love. Love is from God. When we were made in his image, it was in the image of love, and that quality is what will overcome the world. I think I will end the letter here. Then he puts some Bible verses, which he puts at the end of all of them. I so wish you could see. I wonder if I do this. You still can't see it. Ooh, it's kind of spooky now. Oh, like when you're at the campfire and people are holding the flashlight like through their face like that. I'm just going to leave that one on. He took her breath away, chilling. Yeah. You don't give a child. Yeah, weird. I'm scared. Turn the lights back on. Let's see what this one is. As far as Nicole Atkinson goes, let's see what he says about her. I didn't turn on my other light, but these lights get like super bright and ridiculous. LOL, Alex. I'm a weirdo. I know. I'm sorry. That's what I would do to my kids. Hold the flashlight under my head. So, as far as Nicole Atkinson goes, I have nothing against her. She spent a lot of time with Shanann in tree. Oh my God, I don't even know what that word is. In something, and knew that Shanann was upset at me and probably told her about the marital problems. When she didn't hear from Shanann the next day, she knew something was up, and she knew Shanann always had her phone. Her actions at my house were one of a concerned friend who believed I had done something or caused my wife's depression over the weekend. She called the police to come back for a few minutes after they left to search the home, and she called up the news crews to come the day after. She was always nice to me when she came over, so like I said, she was just a concerned friend. The YouTube presence I know nothing about. Nicole was a reserved person that Shanann encouraged to put herself out there more, selling Thrive. Nicole wasn't as shy as me, but she wasn't as outgoing as Shanann. When it came to direct sales like Shanann was her leader in Thrive. Nicole looked up to her. I never knew anything about Child Protective Services claims. Ooh, here we go. She's concerned because she knew something was wrong. Yep. Oh, thank you, Woofy. Had to swallow. I never knew anything about Child Protection Services claims. This report about Shanann only being allowed around the kids 90 minutes a day is something that never was made aware to me. If it was true, I would think I would have been notified. I will admit I was in the dark on a lot of issues, but I just can't see that being veiled from my vision. I guess there is a CPS claim out there, from what my parents tell me, and a court date, but I was not in the loop of if there is any validity. When I worked on the weekends, Shanann was with the kids by herself. She took the kids to school early during the week because she liked to keep a schedule and get the day going early. She used the time alone to work the Thrive business, and I wanted to go pick the girls up when I got home from work. There are so many things that don't make sense that people are grasping at that have no precedence in my eyes. But I have been very shielded from much of the information about my case, and from the logistics of my marriage, I just can't see this being true. I do like the head title, Letters from Christopher. So he says, now that is absolutely true. If there was a CPS case, he would have known about it. People try to say that she had an open CPS case and there was an incident in the store and she wasn't allowed around the kids, but so often. Sorry for hitting the mic, but no. Yep, Freebird, you're exactly right. The irony. Oh, Kamala. Wow, that's crazy. Hey, Canadian Mama. Oh my God, I hate that tattoo. It's old and ugly. Don't even look at. I got so many old ratchet tattoos, like this one right here, which is I got some guns, but it's permanently bruised around the. See how it looks like kind of blue through here? It's not actually a bruise though. I think it's the ink like leaking out. I don't know. He said the same thing about in case she took his breath away. Oh, you would think he knew. Was that a rumor going around? Yeah. So there was a huge rumor that Shanann, CPS was involved and all this stuff. But no, Kamala, I love that you put that. It's interesting. Hey, makeup date with Jack. Oh, I love makeup. That's what brought me. Oh, I'm going to do a giveaway. I forgot. I'm going to do a giveaway at the end of this. I would like to take his breath away, Mark. I used to be like super buff. Like I still kind of look like I have big muscles if I like flex. But I used to be super buff when I was cheerleading and doing gymnastics, my arms and my legs. But now I'm kind of just, it's like fading away, So. Okay. I don't know if I want anything in the book about my dad's struggles. I know he had a hard time. And then he talks about his daily schedule, which we're not going to get into. I never saw my marriage as a struggle until I met Nikki. The temptation brought out any negative Chris, stop trying to use big words where they don't fit. I had concerning my any. Oh, it says perceptions. I cannot read his writing. It's so small. Brought out any negative perceptions I had concerning my marriage, and shut away all the good as well. I have found where whom my soul lives. Does this mean we have a special person out there made soul romantically, only friendship question mark? I can't say Shanann was my soulmate because we were so different. But we fit and I love her. There was fearfulness. There was nervousness on my part that led to shutting down. I never thought it was healthy to argue, and I just wanted peace in every aspect. I was never an argumentative person, and that type of peacekeeping made me walk on eggshells to make sure I didn't screw up or do something wrong. She was always so stressed out about money that I felt the slightest thing would set her off. That's why I tried to do everything I could around the house, outside the house, and with the girls. That almost created more of a communication barrier that was almost insurmountable. We hardly spoke about anything with substance, and I guess you could say we had fallen into a rut, but we didn't acknowledge it. The fact that I could shut down during an argument was a product of my personality. I have to zoom in some. I knew anything I wanted to say would be of importance, wouldn't contribute constructively, and would only make her angry, even more so than she already was. Even if I did come back with something in the segment, then I knew it would get cut down by whatever we wanted to say next, so I didn't bother. Hmm. I'm like that now. I didn't used to be like that, but I am now. I don't want to fight with anybody. I really value peace in my life. You know what I mean? So I don't know. That's what brought me to YouTube was makeup. I've always loved true crime, but I came to watch makeup initially. Yes, Pink Dahlia. Thank you, Muffin Top. I lived it while I'm divorced. Divorce is legal. Yep, exactly. He said I would be avoiding eye contact and nodding like I always would. We didn't argue a lot, but this is how it transpired each time. I guess you could say near the end we were more involved in a successful routine than a relationship because our days were so choreographed. Sure, every relationship needs a plan, but ours was to a T. We just needed to sit down and express ourselves in a non judgmental environment to convey our feelings. We unfortunately never got to do that. She may have not been my soulmate, but she's my baby girl, my boo, my wife, and my friend. I love her with all my heart. She may not have been my soulmate, but she's my baby girl, my boo, my wife, and my friend. I love her with all my heart. Wow. To Frank, Sandy, and Frankie. I know, Lynn. What in the heck? That's what he said about Shanann, straight up. Crazy. To Frank, Sandy, and Frankie. I'm sorry for the pain and utter anguish that I've caused your family. This is a tragedy that I never thought could or would occur. Shanann, Bella, Celeste, and Nico are four beautiful souls that will live on forever in heaven and in our hearts. I know you must hate me for what I've done. Like, that's probably not the way to start the letter. You took away their family and, like, you took away these people's child and their grandkids, and you and address them, and the first thing you say is, Shanann, Bella, Celeste, and Nico are four beautiful souls that will live on forever in heaven. Like, excuse me? You know what I mean? Yeah, sure they will, but I don't know. Just the way that I don't like that. No, okay. I know you must hate me for what I've done, and honestly, I would be surprised if you didn't. This is a moment in my life that I will never be able to undo, and it tears me apart. It rips me apart every single day. I see their beautiful faces, their beautiful smiles everywhere I look. When I read to them at night, I can feel them snuggled up to me like we were at home. Oh my God, sick. I want you to know that I still consider you my father in law, mother in law, and brother in law, and that I love you all the same as I love you all the same. I think it says as oh wait, no it doesn't. I love you all the same yesterday, today, and forever. The first word is cut off, so it's hard. I got a first part of the word. I pray that one day you can have forgiveness for me, but most of all, I pray that you can have compassion on my family. They're hurting so bad from this, and I knew they wanted to reconcile. I know they would have something reconcile if that was something you would allow to happen. I pray every day that both families can meet at the gravesite, hold hands, pray, and talk about past times. Share about birthdays and visits. Oops, sorry, and funny FaceTime conversations. I know this prayer hasn't been answered yet, but I know God is working this request of mine in your hearts. Forgiveness is the start of healing, and I pray you can start that process with my family. You wanted me to write an excerpt into the letters you received that I wrote Shanann, Bella, Celeste, and Nico. I'm not sure what I had written down in those letters, so I hope this fits in okay. To Shanann, Bella, Celeste, and Nico. Oh, this makes me sick, you guys. Still going? We're about to end, but we are reading. We just read his letter. Oh my God. Him calling Shanann, he loves her. She's his boo, his baby girl, his boo thing, his best friend. Then we read his letter to um, Frankie and them. And now we're going to read the part two to the family, and then I'm done. Bye, Humanimal. Thank you for coming. To Shanann, Bella, Celeste, and Nico. I love all of you to the moon and back. Or as Bella would say, I love you all day. Oh, I love you all day. Oh, that is so sad. What a precious little baby. Oh, oh, I don't know. I could just picture her saying that. Ugh. I know, Lindsay. That's how I feel. It's like it's really emotional and sad, too. Just to like read this and can't you just picture little Bella saying that? Hey, Rachel, I agree. You guys will always be my shining stars, my light in the darkness, and my guardian angels. I'm so sorry and something I crushed all of you. It rips my heart to pieces knowing what happened. A husband and a father. Oh, it is. It's sad. I love you all day. How precious. You are true blessings from God. I was blinded from seeing those gifts He bestowed upon me. I hope when you look down upon me, you don't see the person that hurt you, but the person that loves you. I pray that you say, that's my husband and that's my daddy. I love you all so much, and remember, you will always be my sunshines. So that's all I'm going to do today. Yeah, there's always some saying that, yeah. Oh, I love that. I want to see any letters to NK. If he didn't in the book, I can't help but think someone else killed the kids and they weren't part of the plan. Oh my god. Ugh, I don't know. It's sad. He praises Shanann, but still says, yeah, Amber, there's a part, let me read it to you because you weren't here. But it is so bizarre hearing him say this. It's just like one sentence. Hold on. Bentley, I'm almost done. Okay, go good. Wasn't that one? It was one more. Okay, it says, talking about Shanann, she may have not been my soulmate, but she's my baby girl, my boo, my wife, and my friend. I love her with all my heart. If it wasn't for them, they would still be here. Oh, thank you, Violet. He keeps saying rips him apart. Why is that his only descriptor? I don't know. I can't believe he thinks they could just forgive them. Wow, you guys, that is so interesting. I'm gonna scan through some of the other letters, and if I find any more, I will. You are young. Do you know what DHEA is? No, I don't. Hold on. Okay, y'all. I am wanted. Um. Oh, cool. Those are my mom's. Forgiving is for the family. Shenanigans do themselves, as it's a way to free them. Bentley. DHEA. So I don't know what it is. I don't. Nope. But let me look it up real quick. Bentley. I'm going to take your brand new phone if you don't listen. I just got you a phone. I'm telling you. DHEA. I know what DHA is. Let's see. Defohydropianodrosterone, a hormone that your body naturally produces in the adrenal gland. Produces testosterone and estrogen. Is that what you're talking about? Lucky bee. A supplement which once swallowed turns into a steroid. Thrive does sell it. It can make them very sexual and changes your personality and character. Oh, wow. Oh, thank you. All right, you guys. He went up there. All right, you guys. I am going to get off of here. I love you so much. I appreciate you. I think it was fun hanging out and chatting about this. I'm going to look at the rest of those letters and see if there's any odd things. Maybe I should do like a little short video of the things that really stand out in those letters as just being like the comment about being his boo and all that stuff. Maybe I needed more. But anyways, yeah, I appreciate you. Thank you for all my mods that were here. I appreciate you helping me. It means the world to me. Thank you to the chat. You guys were awesome today with very little issues. One little issue, but it was okay. Um, yeah, thank you guys. It was fun. Our little family meeting is over now. You guys go on, but don't be out too late, and make sure you drink lots of water and eat your vegetables, okay? um, thank you, Muffin Top. Love you, Wicked West. All right, you guys. Can you guys make sure to share Wicked West channel too? And definitely Amber and Kelly. They have lots of Watts content and Summer Wells. So thank you, Freebird. Anyways, I love you guys. I don't know what we're going to talk about next, but I know I'll see you soon. So have a good night. And yeah, thank you. Bye.